Hello everyone, welcome to my layer of knowledge. In this video, we are going over the top 10 confirmed and rumored PlayStation 5 games. Be aware that some of these games will also be available on other platforms. For our first game on the list, we have Gothic, developed by THQ Nordic. This game is a remake of a 2001 game. Yes, almost 20 years ago. The game first came to PC and gave the likes of the Elder Scrolls a run for its money. It is an RPG that contains a mixture of open-world exploration, resource gathering, and monster hunting. After gauging interest with a 2-hour-long playable teaser where over 180,000 players have tried it, developer THQ Nordic has confirmed that it's going to remake its 2001 cult classic. The developer promised to listen to the feedback received from the teaser. They are opening a studio in Barcelona which will handle the remake and bring it to PS5, Xbox One and PC. Development is still in the very early stages though, and we won't see it in 2020. The next one is Lord of the Rings Gollum, developed and published by Daedalic Entertainment. It was announced in March 2019 and we don't have any idea how it looks or plays. Yes, you will be playing as Gollum, the iconic crazy character from the series. The game is described as a stealth action adventure with an intriguing dual personality mechanic, gigantic levels, and a densely wrought aesthetic inspired by Tolkien's own drawings. As for the story, The Lord of the Rings Gollum chronicles the character's journey in between the events of The Hobbit and the Fellowship of the Ring. Players will need to choose to side with Smeagol or Gollum at certain points, adding choice into the experience. Though, we all saw the movies or read the books, so we kind of know where this journey will end. It will be interesting to see what kind of story they will manage to produce in order to captivate us. The game has been confirmed for PS5, Xbox Series X and PC, and it will arrive sometime in 2021. The next game is Outriders. From the minds behind Bulletstorm and the original Gears of War trilogy, Outriders is a cooperative third-person looter shooter with a class-based system. The premise of the game is that humans have left Earth and have found a new planet to colonize called Enoch. All seems fine at first, but suddenly a storm called the Anomaly descends and begins to either kill or mutate humans into different creatures. You take the role of an outrider that has been in cryosleep for 30 years since the Anomaly event. You can play alone or with 2 other friends in this war-torn sci-fi universe. You have 3 classes to choose from: the crowd control pyromancer, the fast and deadly trickster, and the tanky devastator. Each have unique supernatural powers and you can unleash combos. Let's get the obvious comparison out of the way. Outriders feels a lot like Destiny meets Anthem with some Gears of War thrown in it. Whether this mashup works, we will just have to wait and see. This game will release in holiday 2020. Next up, we have an unconfirmed title for the PS5, but I think this game is inevitable. The next game is the sequel to the critically acclaimed game called God of War. It's been 2 years since the launch of the soft reboot, and due to the huge success of the game, the sequel is bound to happen sooner or later. Preferably sooner. Yes, nothing official has been announced, however, thanks to a whole host of job listings appearing on developer Sony Santa Monica's careers website, it's pretty much one of the worst kept secrets in the industry right now. And on PS5, God of War 2 would no doubt look brilliant and play fantastically well, with 120Hz, 60 FPS, and in 4K. As to what we can expect from God of War 2, a recent discovery by God of War fans in an anniversary dynamic theme for the series seems to indicate that the setting will be Ragnarok, the Nordic apocalypse. That seems like a lot of fun. So, here's to hoping we can defeat more gods with our boy. The next game is a racing game. WRC9 is a racing game and the latest entry in the FIA World Rally Championship official video game series. In development at KT Racing, it's the first racing game announced for the next gen. That said, It is also available on current-gen consoles. According to the game's website, WRC9 will feature rallies in Kenya, New Zealand and Japan from the 2020 WRC calendar, alongside over 400 kilometers of roads from all 13 scheduled rounds of the 2020 season. The racing title will be released in September 2020 for PC, Switch, Xbox One and PS4, with a later date for the next-gen titles. We are halfway there. The next rumored game is Horizon Zero Dawn 2. There is no secret that Sony has had huge success with its PS4 exclusives, particularly with the post-apocalyptic RPG Horizon Zero Dawn. It is one of the best-selling games on the PS4, selling over 10 million copies and cementing itself as a must-have title. While news is scarce and the developer has yet to speak about the existence of the sequel, there might be a hint that the sequel is in development. Back in November, a new job listing appeared for a technical vegetation artist at Guerrilla Games. The posting itself outright mentions Horizon Zero Dawn, indicating that the studio may well have already started work on a sequel. A PS5 sequel with the console's next-gen GPU and CPU power would allow Horizon's maker Guerrilla Games to really flesh out the game world and present it in even greater fidelity. Equally, with the game running off the PS5's super fast SSD, then those long load times of the original would be a thing of the past. The next game we have here is Watch Dogs Legion. Announced at E3 2019, this game is the third one in the series and the focus is no longer on one protagonist. You have to build your own team of hackers from all the NPCs in the game. The game is set in a dystopian London where every NPC has its own story and you can recruit them to join your hacker team. Each NPC has their own skills and abilities, strengths and weaknesses. In order to recruit an NPC, you will have to do one or more story missions for them in order to recruit them. Beware, in this new Watch Dogs title, permadeath is now a thing, so maybe don't get too attached to your favorite hitman granny. This game was delayed into the next financial year and it will launch on current-gen consoles, PS5, Xbox Series X and PC. For our third spot we have Quantum Error, developed by the independent studio behind last year's Kings of Lorne: The Fall of Ebris. Quantum Error is described by the developer as a cosmic horror first-person shooter, and the teaser trailer certainly depicts horror scenes showing a playable character running into a horde of monsters in a dilapidated subway station. The game, which is also launching on PS4, apparently boasts an extensive physics engine, as a separate video posted on the game's official Twitter account promises that 99.9% of objects in Quantum Error will be physically simulating. This begs the question, what about the 0.01%? The trailer is footage based on a PC build leveraging similar specs to Sony's next-gen console. The studio is targeting 4K resolution at 60 frames per second and it will be taking advantage of the PS5's ray tracing technology. This game doesn't have a specific release date, but it is fair to assume it might come next year. Dying Light 2 is the sequel to the first-person open-world parkouring zombie-slaying adventure video game called Dying Light. It is set 15 years after the original, and Techland itself describes the time period for this new game as the New Dark Ages, which suggests just how desperate humanity has become in this particular zombie apocalypse. Players can make decisions that will affect the environment around the city. By completing a mission in a certain way, say for example siding with a certain faction, players will see a substantial change in their environment as that faction gains influence and begins to change the city in their own unique ways. Some factions may end up establishing order, while others revel in the chaos. Originally scheduled for release on PS4, Xbox One and PC in spring 2020, Dying Light 2 recently got a major delay that stripped it of any kind of release window. This delay makes the idea of a simultaneous cross-generation release much more tangible. After all, developer Techland has already confirmed Dying Light 2 will come to PS5 and Xbox Series X. For our first spot on the list, we have Godfall. This game is developed by Gearbox together with Counterplay Games. Announced at the Game Awards 2019, Godfall is described as a loot slasher third-person action RPG built around cooperative gameplay. Basically, think Borderlands with swords. Godfall is being designed from the ground up with co-op in mind. As such, you can play the entire game solo or up to 3-player co-op. The game has a very high fantasy aesthetic, which combined with the PS5's raw power should lead to some spectacular game worlds. But because Gearbox hasn't really made a hack and slash before, we will just have to wait and see what the actual gameplay will look like and whether the slashing will be as satisfying as Borderlands shooting. This game doesn't have a specific release date, but Godfall will be coming to PlayStation 5 and Epic Games Store Holiday 2020. Well, that was my top 10 games that are either confirmed or rumored to come to the PS5. Have I missed any game? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button, maybe subscribe to the channel and share the video. If you didn't enjoy it, hit the dislike. I hope you all have a fantastic day and wish you all the best. Goodbye everyone.